All right, guys, we are live. We're back for the 8th time. So, Corvette Weekly has now been going for 8 Mondays in a row, and you guys are to thank. So, again, I'm looking over in the comments section. I see a lot of the same names. We're not going to go through that same speech again, but it's awesome that you guys are all here. What's up, Doug? Grandpa Barney, Shane, William, you guys are you're hitting it out of the park. I love the support. I think what we're going to talk about today is really going to kind of solidify this as a Corvette thing, a Corvette community, a Corvette group. Because what I want to do is I want to start including you guys a little bit more. So we're going to talk about this a little bit more in a second. But for now, I want to address something that I know some of you guys are talking about even in the comment section right now. And it is the title of the video. So the ERay, is it coming first? Is it coming before the Z06? There's a lot of information out there right now suggesting that that is the case, and that the ERay is kind of GM's way of smoothing over the fact that we don't have any real information about the Z06 yet. Now, you guys know the ERay video or teaser trailer was released not too long ago, and it came at a weird time. It came at a time when we were expecting to actually see some C8 Z06 news or the price or the Nürburgring time. And instead we got an ERay release trailer. Very strange. You know, we don't even have the Z06 yet. Somehow we're getting information on a new model that's coming after the Z06. So right off the bat, I assumed there was something a little bit weird about that. And I've gotten some confirmation from some of the inside sources that I have saying that, yes, the ERay is actually coming first. And GM, because of some of the problems that they're having with the Z06, which we discussed in previous videos, again, not confirmed, but a lot of people in the know are speculating, or some of them have inside knowledge stating that the Z06 is having some problems. And because of that, GM wants to throw a car out there to kind of get our minds off of the Z06 and to just give us something. So it seems to me relatively likely at this point, based on that information alone, and then also on top of that, some of the information that I have from, again, inside sources saying that the ERay is in fact coming soon, sooner than the Z06, I mean. So basically one of the big things is, if you guys remember not too long ago, the Corvette plant was shut down because of parts shortages. Yeah, apparently it was actually shut down because they were tooling it for the ERay. They were pushing ERays through to get them out on the road and get them tested and everything like that, so they're ready before the Z06. Now, again, none of this is confirmed, but this is coming from a source that has given me good information in the past, so I feel like there is a very good chance we're getting the ERay before the Z06. Now, if you guys were here for the last Corvette Weekly, we talked about the fact that there was a lot of people talking about the Z06 not being available to the public until early 2023. So basically, no one's going to take delivery of a Z06 in 2022. Now, again, this information is not confirmed, but there's a lot of people discussing this. A lot of people talking about the possible delay of the Z06. And if that is true, I'm not going to tell you that it is just yet, because I still have not confirmed this with any sources that I call reliable. If that is true, then the ERay is definitely coming first. And it would be the first time that that's ever happened, because the ERay, as you guys know, replaces the Grand Sport for the 8th generation Corvette. And the Grand Sport always comes after the Z06. Well, I mean, in any generations where both of them existed, at least. So what that tells me is GM might be trying to change this whole thing up. And we have a couple reasons. So you guys know right now, gas is insane. Gas is insanely priced. And because of stuff like that and the EPA, one of the reasonings that I had heard that the Z06 was going to be delayed was because it couldn't pass EPA standards. Now, for any of you guys out there who know about the EPA, they're super strict. It is very likely, that is a very likely concern. So whenever I hear that kind of stuff, as well as possible engine problems, possible transmission problems, engine mount issues, it's very likely at this point that the ERay is coming first. Now, Again, none of this has been confirmed, so I don't want you guys to take this to the bank just yet, but this is where we discuss news. This is where we're going to discuss some rumors and speculations and stuff before it is actually confirmed, because I want you guys to be kind of on the cutting edge of the news and the information about this car because of how crazy it is right now. But let's look at the comments here for a second. I see a bunch of you guys typing away in here. All right, so we got Becca's in here. Hi, Becca. How you doing? Steve-O says, good morning. Love the channel. Well, good evening. Sorry. Thank you, Steve-O. William Richardson, what's up, man? I appreciate you guys all tuning in. Blue Vet, again, I love it. So Blue Vet's here. He says, good day to you, Justin, and to all in our Corvette community. Absolutely. So we are making a Corvette community, and we're going to talk a little bit about this in a second, Blue Vet. So please don't go anywhere, because you're one of the ones I want to include in what I'm about to do here. Shane, yes, it will, but I'm actually really excited for the ERay. The NSX was awesome around the track. Yeah, the NSX is a really cool car. So the ERay is one of those ones, it's kind of not getting the appreciation that I think that it should right now, because it's kind of living in the shadow of the Z06, but I think that's going to change, and it's going to happen sooner than you guys think. Donnie Darko says 5-year wait. Yeah, I mean, the Z06 is crazy right now. So the ERay will come this summer. Elijah, I'm thinking if we do get the ERay first, I'm thinking it's going to be late summer, early fall. And then the Z06 is probably going to be early summer 2023, or early spring, I'm sorry, 2023, before you're actually getting them in your hands. So that's my speculation. Like I said, we're kind of cutting around the rumors and the speculation at this point before we go full-blown, guaranteed, confirmed video type stuff. Tito says, no thanks, great things to come to wait. Yeah, you're right, man. Gas is $5 a gallon, guys. I mean, up here in Pennsylvania, I just paid $5.40, and that's really tough whenever you have two vehicles that are both not real great on gas, especially the TRX. I mean, that thing gets 10 miles per gallon. It's hard right now. Shane says, I was able to 100% confirm at the bash that the ERay was being tested against the Acura NSX early in some of the white NSX pictures, so the ERay might be further along than many people realize. So, Shane, that's exactly the kind of stuff that I love to hear while we're talking about this Corvette stuff, because it's not just me at this point giving information. It's you guys, too. You guys are contributing to all of this. People like Shane, who goes to the bash down at the National Corvette Museum, he has some inside knowledge as well. And when his inside knowledge kind of lines up with the inside knowledge that I have, it starts to form something that ends up being the truth. So this is why I like doing this kind of stuff with you guys. Let me see where we're at here. EPA is unconstitutional. God, man, I'll tell you what, I'm starting to feel the same way. They're really starting to like just put their hands in everything. I respectfully disagree. The Z06 will be released this summer as announced, then the ERay next summer. It's definitely possible. And I mean, like I said, we're not here to put anything as confirmed or in stone yet, but a lot of the inside sources that I have are telling me that the ERay may come first. And if it does, that means the Z06 is going to get pushed out at least a year, because it would make no sense to release both those cars side by side. All right, guys, so the first super chat of the day comes to us from Grandpa Barney. We know him. He's been in all the chats, and he's, again, supporting the channel. I appreciate it so much. He says, thanks, Justin, for all the work you do for us. We appreciate you, sir. Patiently waiting for my mistress. That would be a sucky thing to do. Yeah, I agree, man. The Z06 is something that I know all of you guys are pretty much waiting for. And it would be a terrible thing right now if that ends up getting pushed back for the ERay. But I don't want to necessarily just come in here and give you guys good news all the time. You know, I want to give you the news, whether it's good or bad. I'll leave that up to you to decide. But at the end of the day, yeah, I mean, we may get the ERay first. And if that's the case, some people will be happy with that. Some won't. It is what it is. Ralph Cruz, how you doing, man? Thanks for tuning in. Donovan Short says he wouldn't mind the ERay over the Z06, only if it's faster than the Tesla Plaid. I don't know if it's going to be faster than the Tesla Plaid. Everybody that has talked about the ERay has already kind of given it up that it's going to be quicker than the Z06, so it's going to get to 60 faster, but the Z06 is then going to be faster past 60. Sofa King. Guess I'll just get a GTR or a Hellcat Red Eye. Some people I know, it's tough waiting right now, especially whenever there are equally good cars out there in other manufacturers. Elijah says that the ERay will be better than the NSX. I hope so, because I'll be honest, guys, the NSX is a really cool car. So if the ERay comes out and it's better than the NSX, that thing's going to be freaking phenomenal. Thurman Gary says, I am new to this website, but I love Corvettes too. The faster, the better. Thank you for tuning in, Thurman. I appreciate the support. This is something we do weekly. So every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, we are going to sit down and we're going to talk Corvettes, all of us. And that's going to kind of bring me to my next point, guys. What I want to do here is I want to create more of a community. So we've been kind of talking about this community thing for a while, and I want to bring you guys the news. I want to bring you the updates, but I want to talk more about your Corvettes. So what I want to start doing is having you send me pictures and the story of your Corvette. So any pictures you have of your Corvette, whether it's your first Corvette, your 12th Corvette, what you've done to it, what color it is, why it's special, how it's special to you, all that stuff. If you guys email that to me, I'm going to start putting it on the Corvette Weekly show here so we can get to know each other a little bit better. So I know you know me based on my cars because of my YouTube channel, but now I'll know you all individually because of the cars you guys have. So what do you guys think? Do you like that idea? Do you like the idea of sending me your information as far as the Corvette, what makes it special to you, what year it is, how many Corvettes you've had? You know, is this your last one? Is it, you know, are you waiting for a specific one? I would love to know more about all you guys. And I'm going to put it on the screen here for all of you guys to see, so we will all know everybody that's in the chat. What do you guys think about that? Let me know. Yeah, so Shane says we have 169 people watching. Let's get those likes up, guys. Please smash that thumbs up button. Let me know you're liking the content so we can keep evolving this thing, so we can turn this into something that just ends up being a giant community for Corvette people. I would love to do that. So guys, my email address is going to be the horsepowerobsessed@gmail.com. Please send me any pictures you have of your Corvettes and your Corvette story so I can talk about it here for everybody else to hear so we can all know each other. Now, yeah, so guys, again, thumbs up if you could. It really helps out the channel. For those of you just joining, we are very heavily speculating that the ERay is coming before the Z06 because of some of the inside source knowledge that I have, and one of the people that I talk to a lot about this stuff that has basically never given me bad information. They're saying the ERay is coming first. The Z06 will not be in people's driveways until early 2023. And the most recent plant shutdown for the Corvette Museum was actually because of them tooling it for the ERay, not because of part issues. So yeah, so some people are saying that they'll take an ERay. They're kind of tired of waiting for the Z06. Blue Vet says that's awesome, Justin. We'll be sending you photos of the Blue Beauty. Please do. I love that car. I felt like I didn't really get to talk to you enough about it that day that I was down there and you were at Blackout Tinting in Miami. Everything was just kind of rushed along, and I would have liked to have taken more time with you, but hopefully we get to meet up in the future. Yeah, so Donovan says, did you see that Chevy released a 2023 Stingray price on their website? Yeah, so we actually talked about that in last week's Corvette Weekly. We updated the fact that the pricing is now available. So Donovan, if you're turning in every week, we actually talked about that last week. I try to give you guys the information as it's cutting edge. So usually you'll hear it here first. It's very unlikely you'll read it after the fact or before it's on this channel. Usually you're going to hear it here first. Yeah, William, yeah. Horsepowerobsessed@gmail.com, guys. Just like I said, I want your pictures of your Corvettes, your story of the Corvettes, and what makes it special to you, or if it's a special Corvette in general, like a certain anniversary edition, that kind of stuff. Basically, the more you can give me about the Corvette, the better. Because I want everybody to know everybody else in the chat system here, if for no other reason, just buy your car. You know, we get to know each other through our rides, and I think that's cool. You guys all know me because of my Corvette, because of the YouTube channel, But if you guys are sending them to me and I'm putting them out there for everybody else to see, then everybody's going to know everybody. And it's going to be a beautiful thing because we are a community here at this point. That's what we want to do. Roastum One USA, what's up, man? I've seen you in here a couple times as well. That's awesome. Amber says she'll send me a video or a picture of the ZR1. Definitely send some pictures of Peas. I appreciate it. Front Seat Driver, thanks so much, man. I just saw your name pop up here. I apologize. Thanks for tuning in. Great stuff as always, Justin. I'll take an E-Ray, by the way. Yeah, Front Seat Driver, guys. You know his YouTube channel by now, but I'm going to get some pictures of his car and the story of his car as well because him and I are friends outside of YouTube. I know his situation is pretty cool. You guys are definitely going to want to hear it. So, yeah. JD Kirk says, no, I want that Z06 670 horsepower V8 is better than electric motors. The E-Ray is not going to be only electric. It's going to have the same 6.2 liter engine in the rear. And then, of course, the electric motor up on front. So it's not going to be fully electric. It's just going to be the hybrid. I do know what you're saying, though. I would definitely prefer the Z06 at that point myself. Julia says, what is an E-Ray? So the E-Ray is the C8 Corvette hybrid version where there's going to be the 6.2 liter engine in the rear and then a hybrid assist electric motor in the front. William Richardson says, I'm looking for a Corvette club in San Fernando Valley, California. I'm really looking for one in Pennsylvania, man. I would really like to find one that's near me in Pittsburgh that, you know, something that I could go to car shows and car events with and just roll with, you know, 40, 50 Corvettes deep. The E-Ray is going to be a bad mamma jamma. All right, guys, so I want to reiterate one more time, and then we're going to move on to some news. I want to start converting what we're doing here into more of a community, and what that entails is you guys emailing me your Corvette pictures, your Corvette stories, anything you have about Corvette that I can share and put on the screen here in front of everybody so we can all get to know each other through our rides. I did this early on in my YouTube channel, and I was putting it at the end of all the videos, and I felt like as much as I like doing that wasn't quite the way to go about it because a lot of people don't watch a video all the way to the end. I want to do it here in a live video where we can throw it up on the screen, one of the first things, so everybody can see all the other guys that are in the chat here. So if you guys are interested, email me horsepowerobsessed@gmail.com. Send me all of your Corvette pictures, all of your Corvette stories, what makes your Corvette special to you, or if it's special in general, such as like a special edition or anniversary edition, something along those lines. I would really like to see as much as possible, guys. So the more you send me, the more we're going to be able to make this a tight-knit community because you guys are all going to know each other based on the car. I'd really like to see that happen, though, guys. So let's see what we got in the comment section here real quick, and then we're going to flip over and talk about a little bit of the Z06 news. Actually, everything I have at this point is Z06 news, so we'll talk about that in 1 second. I want to get these comments out of the way here. Nick T says, do you regret selling your C8 since you're most likely not getting the Z06 for a long time? I don't actually regret selling my C8 because the Z06, I'm going to have it relatively quick. So once everybody starts getting theirs, I'm going to have mine right around the same time, possibly even earlier. Just like with my C8, I'll get it earlier. Not necessarily going to be the first one in the world, unfortunately. That's pretty hard to be. But no, I don't regret selling the C8. It's given me a lot of time to spend with the ZR1, and it's given me a lot of time to appreciate that C7 platform, which is really, really no slouch. E-Ray with all-wheel drive is going to be bad AF. Yes, it is, Coltrane. Sweet name, by the way, Coltrane. I'm a Gears of War fan myself. Scott Smith says, I'm excited for the Z06. Little worried about the new design of the engine due to me blowing mine in 500 miles. Wow, that sucks. Good thing I have 3K now and no issues. Interesting. That's not great news, but, you know, with how many of these things are made, it's bound to have a problem eventually, I guess. So for the Corvette Zora, the hybrid, you're going to be able to switch between electric and normal, right, guys? No, so the way that the E-Ray is going to work is most likely going to be... the hybrid setup is typically you're running on mostly the 6.2 liter engine, but the hybrid motor in the front it will kick in under like performance mode or sport mode, and it will give you basically an all-wheel drive setup. No, so JD Kirk says he thought that the ERay was all electric. It is not. It is only a hybrid setup. So you're getting the same 6.2 liter engine you have in the C8 Corvette with a front hybrid motor driving the front wheels, basically giving you effectively all-wheel drive. When do you think the C8 body style changed to C9? We're probably quite a while away from that. If I had to guess, 2030-ish at earliest. Kareem Richard says, isn't the ERay going to have the Z06 body style? It's going to be very similar to the ERay. It's not going to be identical. They have to have their separating features. So if I had to guess, the front end isn't going to be as opened up for cooling because it's not really going to need to be. The side scoops are probably not going to be Z06 related. They may have the wide body and bigger tires, but it's not going to look exactly like a Z06. E-Money says he has a 3LT Stingray and it's awesome. Absolutely. Like, I know every time we do these live videos, guys, we talk about a lot of the Z06 information, why the Z06 is going to be cool, but we don't give the C8 the love that it deserves. The base C8 Corvette is a really cool car, and we should talk about that a little bit more often, I know, and it's just because we want to stay on the cutting edge of the news. The C8 is so cool. The Z06 is just dialing it up to 11. Like, honestly, most of you guys out there, if you want a C8 kind of car, get a base C8. I mean, you really don't even need the Z06. I don't even need the Z06. I mean, it's more of a want thing for me, but the C8 Corvette is a cool car no matter what. Donnie Darko says he wants the C10 in 2045. Yeah, you're probably about 2042, 45. You'll be at the C10 by then, I'm sure. Yeah, so we actually talked about that last week. Somebody said we have to talk about the trifecta unlocking the ECU. So we talked about that a little bit last week, guys. Trifecta states that they've unlocked the ECU for tuning. Now, there is a lot more to it than that. It's hard to really talk about that too much without giving away what I'm saying, but ultimately, they haven't really done anything. They're vocal about what they did, but they haven't fully unlocked that car to the point where they can actually start tuning it. Yeah, it's really difficult to. Basically, there's more than just one thing controlling the tune on that car. So if you've cracked the ECU, great. That's only part of the problem. So maybe they've done it. Maybe they haven't. We're still kind of waiting to see what else they have to say. So the ERay, we will have to charge it and pay for gas. No. So Donovan, the way that the hybrids work, typically there is no plug. There's very unlikely to be an external plug on that car to plug it in to charge it. Typically, the power is generated from stopping. So you got your regenerative braking, or basically every time you hit your brakes, it creates enough of a charge to put to that hybrid motor that it's going to charge it. There's a lot of other ways they could do it. I doubt we're going to get a plug-in version. It's usually not the case with a hybrid. That's usually only the case for a full electric. Shane says, I own an 87 Porsche 911 Hot Rod Project. Wow. Wow. Okay, Shane, I'm pretty sure you have a Corvette as well, but send me both of those because that's a pretty cool car. Donnie Darko says, I'll be retired with high white socks by the time the Z06 is out. Oh, man, I love that. You're probably not wrong at that point, but William Richardson says, we have a few silly shorts of our Corvette on my channel. Sweet. Email them to me if you could. I'd like to have them on here. Like I said, guys, I want to have anything you own as far as the pictures of your Corvettes. In Shane's case, he has a cool Porsche. Send me anything. I mean, I'd like to keep it specifically Corvette, but honestly, Corvette benchmarks so much against Porsches. I mean, most of the Corvette is Porsche at the heart of it anyway. And Ralph Cruz, guys, number 2 super chat for the day comes from Ralph Cruz. He is heavily supporting the channel. Thank you so much, Ralph. He says, if you think the ERay is coming first, what do you think the MSRP would be? And do you think the value will be higher than the Z06? And will you be getting the ERay for yourself? So, Ralph, at first, I would have told you no, that I don't plan on getting an E-Ray. But now that I'm hearing it might come before the Z06, suddenly I'm intrigued. I do believe the MSRP of the E-Ray is going to be slightly lower than the Z06. So the base model Z06 is likely to be around 90,000. I think the E-Ray is going to be around 75 to 80,000 to start before options. And yeah, I do think. No, I mean, I don't actually think that the hybrid setup of the E-Ray would maintain its value more so than the Z06 will. Just because the idea of battery-powered stuff, batteries don't last forever, whereas a gas-powered engine can last a lot longer. The C8 is going to span the whole 2020 decade. I agree. Roastum says, man, I'm tempted with the E-Ray. The E-Ray is looking cooler and cooler every day because it is basically the base C8 with a little bit more power and a nicer look to it because it's going to have more of a wide body setup, kind of like the Z06. Donnie Darko says, when will we have a flying Corvette 2100? I don't know. I'm not sure it will be that long. The thumbnail is so clean. Yeah, so Aiden, that's kind of the thing is like people make these thumbnails based off of the Z06 and kind of with their own little twist to it. It's probably not far off. I'll be honest with you. It's probably not too far from what the car will actually look like. Nice. Aiden says he subbed with notifications and liked stream. I appreciate that, Aiden. Thank you so much. So, guys, for those of you just tuning in, I want to talk a little bit about what we're doing here. This is something we do every Monday at 7:30 p.m. We call it Corvette Weekly. We talk about Corvette news wrap-ups, and we're going to start talking about you. We're going to start talking about your Corvettes. I'd love for all of you to send me Corvette pictures, your Corvette story. Send it to my email at horsepowerobsessed@gmail.com. And I'm going to start putting it out for everybody else to see so we can all kind of get to know each other through our rides. And by the way, guys, if you are liking the content so far, please smash that thumbs up button. Let me know you're liking it so this will kind of get pushed out to as many other people as possible, and we can make this community even bigger. Steve-O says, I'm not on the list for the E-Ray. Can't get on one now. So the E-Ray and the Z06, guys, going to be hard to get right about now. The lists are pretty long at this point. Grandpa Barney says, dang, Ralph, you one-upped Grandpa. Yeah, he did. He did, guys. I appreciate the support so much. Like I said, the super chats go right back into the channel. And honestly, guys, the super chats are going to help build this community to something bigger and better. So if you feel like you want to support the channel, the super chats are definitely the way to do it. Yeah, so Donnie Darko says, Trifecta said that most of the power is already utilized. 100%. Now, the problem with that statement is, what about the power that's not utilized? So I'm not talking about the stock stuff. I'm talking about aftermarket exhausts, aftermarket intakes, headers, twin turbo kits. What about that stuff? And that's the part that they didn't really address, which tells me I don't think they fully unlocked it. Elijah said, I saw a red C8 a few weeks ago. I screamed like a girl because I thought it was a LaFerrari from far away. Wow, that's awesome. What's up, Brian Greer? Thanks for tuning in, buddy. Doesn't everyone make $500,000 these days? Unfortunately, no, they don't. I mean, if they are, I'm the only guy left that's not, I guess. All right, so the third super chat of the day, guys, comes again from Grandpa Barney. Like I said, super chats are just going to help make this Corvette community even better, so I appreciate it. He says, Justin, your Z01 is so sweet. You should never sell it. If you do, I want it and 100 others. It looks mean. Thank you. I appreciate that, Grandpa Barney. I actually just got done washing it before I started this live stream here. Aiden says, how much horsepower will the hybrid have? So rumors are that the E-Ray is going to have, I think it was right around 600 horsepower. So the base C8 has 495. And then they were going to throw basically a 100 horsepower adder in the form of a hybrid motor on the front wheels. So you're right around 600 horsepower, 620 if they want to really boost it. But they're not going to be able to make it with more horsepower than the Z06 has, because then that's kind of going to tear people away from wanting the Z06. Yeah, Brian, if you want to send that, that will work as long as it's a Corvette. I do want to get as much Corvette pictures and Corvette story. So I don't want just the picture. I want your story. I want why you went with that Corvette. What makes it special to you? All that stuff. I want to have kind of a story wrapped around every picture that I get. So if you guys do want to send me those pictures, like I said, horsepowerobsessed@gmail.com. I'd love to get these up in front of all of you guys. Shane says, if gas and Corvette prices are too high, I'm starting an OnlyFans account and you all better subscribe. Oh, Shane, you kill me, man. Randy says, well, I guess if a Z06 doesn't come available until 2024, I'm picking up a discounted C8 during the recession next summer. Yeah, about that. Andrew says, you got more subscribers than me. Well, I mean, you guys all make the magic here. You're the reason this channel exists. Steve says, thinking about killing one of my allocations to free up some cash. Anyone interested? Steve, what kind of car are we talking about here, man? If we're talking about a Z06, shoot me an email. All right, guys. I'm going to flip the camera around. We're going to talk about a little bit of news. Let's see where we're at real quick with the likes. I know every time I pull this up, I'm always wrong, so I want to try to be right this time. All right, so we are at 89 likes, guys. Let's get up to over 100. Please, if you could, smash that thumbs up button. It really helps the channel. Something tells me I'm probably wrong about how many likes I have anyway, but if we're already at 100, that's fantastic. All right, we're at 90, says Elijah. 91. Let's get up over 100. It really helps the channel, guys, and it's free. You can click that like button, and it's like giving me something for free, and it doesn't cost you anything either. All right, so first bit of information we're going to talk about today, guys, is something we talked about last week. And it is, in fact, the top speed for the Z06 has basically been leaked through the owner's manual. We talked about this last week. And the car hits 188 miles an hour in 5th gear. Now, for those of you who don't understand what that means, the Z06 is an 8-speed automatic transmission, which means it has 3 additional gears after 5th to hit even higher than 188. So it just basically confirms that car is going to be over 200 miles per hour. And as you can see, Car Buzz has also picked up on this, and they've started talking about it as well. So we're talking about more sources basically confirming the same kind of thing. We are definitely going to have a C8 Z06 that hits over 200 miles an hour. All right. Elijah says we passed 100. Let's see where we're at. Yep, we are at 115. Elijah, thank you so much. And thank all of you guys for hitting that thumbs up button. It really helps. I appreciate it. You know what? We're at 115. Let's see if we can get to, let's try for 150. Guys, I would appreciate it if you could hit that thumbs up button. It really helps a lot. I just clicked and we're at 91. Thanks, Brobarian. I am listening, soaking up all this knowledge about the different types of Corvettes. Awesome, Thurman. That's exactly what we're here for. So, guys, as you can see here, like I said, last week we talked about this, and sure enough, another source has picked up on the fact that this is going to be a 200-mile-an-hour car plus. So we don't know the exact number at this point, but we are pretty much solid on the fact it's going to be over 200 miles an hour. Now, like I said earlier, guys, we try to talk about the cutting-edge news, whether it's rumors or leaks or whatever, it doesn't matter. We talked about it last week as a rumor and as a cutting-edge news article, and now we're getting a little bit more confirmation as the weeks go on. There's a very good chance this car is going to be 200 plus. Some people are speculating it's going to be even as high as 220 plus. So pretty cool stuff. If you guys are interested in the Z06, it is going to be a fast one. And they start out this article by saying that it's basically got a supercar top speed. So it doesn't get any cooler than that. All right, so what do we got here? Shane says 123 likes on my screen. That's awesome, guys. Let's get 27 more, get to that 150. Yeah, you know what, Grandpa Barney? I like the way you think. He says, let's try for 200, go big or go home. Let's try for 200, guys. We're not that far away at this point. If we can get 200 thumbs ups, it really helps the channel, and it will make me like my life better. So go ahead and hit that thumbs up. Help me out. It helps out the community too. Guys, at this point, we are a Corvette community. Especially when you guys start sending me some of your pictures and your stories of your Corvettes. All right, so Future Sean, what's up, man? You just wanted to pop in and say we should have no problem with delays with the Z06. We need to get this car perfect, and I'm fine with the delay. So Future Sean is another name I see popping up here all the time, guys. Again, thank you for all the OGs coming back every week. I agree with you, Sean. I would rather get the car in perfect condition versus, you know, getting something that has problems left and right. So I agree. GM, take your time, get it right. We'll take it whenever it comes out. Donovan says, so if ERay has 2 motors, shouldn't it cost more than a Z06? So it doesn't actually have 2 motors. It has an engine, which is the 6.2 liter engine in the rear, and then a hybrid motor in the front, which is just your electric motor. So one's a motor, one's an engine. It's kind of a confusing thing, but at the end of the day, there's not really 2 motors. Wow, so Aiden says he guesses the top speed around 240. That's super high, man. If it hits 240, I would be super pumped, but I think that might be a tad high. All right, what else we got here? So C8 Z06 versus GT3 and its variants. That would be pretty cool. Yeah, if the C8 Z06 can take on the GT3 RS, that's a win in my book. Brian Greer says, guys, hit that like button for my guy Justin here. I appreciate it, Brian. I would very much so like that as well, guys, if you could hit that thumbs up. 134 now, says Shane. Wife, yeah. 208 people are watching. Hit that like button, guys. That's what Shane says. I mean, Shane, he knows his stuff, I guess, because I'd really appreciate it if you hit that thumbs up as well. It really helps out the channel. To track my 17 Z06, do I need forged wheels or rims? Kevin, you don't need forged, but it would not be a bad idea because a couple things. Number one, the Z06 has had kind of weak wheels. They crack a lot if you're in track mode, especially. So getting forged is going to solve that issue, and it's also going to give you a slightly lighter setup, which is good for the track as well. So you don't need it, but it's never a bad thing. Red Stingray Corvette says, there's nowhere else to be a man. This is it. Thanks, Stingray. Red Stingray. I appreciate that. Mr. Media says he's fine with the delay, not fine with other dealers only selling if you make a $50,000 donation. Yeah, so guys, we're going to talk about this donation thing in the future, I think, because this is GM's way around. Well, not GM's, I'm sorry. This is dealership's way around GM pushing back against people charging over MSRP. What they're doing now is they're charging a donation on top of your MSRP. And if you look into it, that donation is no doubt going into a charitable fund that dealership just so happens to have in their back pocket. So basically you're giving them the money. And this is definitely their way around Chevy pushing hard against that charging over MSRP thing. Nikki says she likes my wife better. Yeah. Thanks, Nikki. All right. So Eric Storms looks like he just tuned in. So I'm going to repeat for those of you just now coming in. The ERay is most likely coming before the Z06. At this point, it is speculation / leaks and some information coming to us from some solid sources stating that the ERay is in fact coming before the Z06. The Z06, with its delays, possible power issues that it's having, is going to force the ERay to come first. Appease says, show some love, guys. Hit that thumbs up button. Let's see where we're at. I'm going to refresh this here. All right, so we are at 145 thumbs up, guys. I would appreciate it if you smash that thumbs up. The more we have, the better. It's going to only help make the Corvette community better. Learning Fast says 215 mile an hour top speed, not for Z07 either. That would be 205 miles per hour or less because of the aerodynamics. So I agree that it will be less for the Z07, but I don't know if it will be that much less. I know it was 10 miles an hour less for the base C8 Corvette, which is actually exactly what you put on there. So maybe it is possible. That is a good number, actually. So guys, number 4 super chat of the day comes from Daniel Means. I appreciate it, Daniel. Like I said, the super chats all go right back into the channel, and it's only going to help build a stronger Corvette community for all of you guys to enjoy, myself included. I appreciate all the super chats, guys. We got 146 thumbs ups. Shane's keeping me updated like a true gentleman. I appreciate it, Shane. Finally gave you a subscribe, long overdue, very easy to do. You're right. I appreciate that very much. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for supporting the channel. And just like he said, guys, it is very easy to do. So if you're here listening to the Corvette Weekly, which is something we do every Monday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and you're liking what you hear, please subscribe or hit that thumbs up button if you guys are already subscribed. I would greatly appreciate it. It definitely helps keep everything running smoothly here. Shannon asks if there's any new information on the ZR1. Unfortunately, there's not. The ZR1 well has been kind of dry. Even the Z06 well has been a little bit dry. Brian asks, how's the weather? It's not that great here, actually. It's raining right now, or about to, it looks like. But, guys, it looks like we caught up with the comments, so I'm going to switch you over to a little bit more news. While we're checking out the news, please smash that thumbs up button like Shane is talking about over in the comments section. I appreciate that. We're going to move on past the leaked supercar top speed stuff with the C8. For those of you who haven't heard this yet, this 2023 C8 Z06 is definitely going to be faster. It's going to be over 200 miles an hour at the end of the day. It was basically confirmed in Chevy's latest leak of their Z06 owner's manual. Now, moving on, guys, we get something from the mid-engine Corvette forum.com, and it is a hypersonic Z06 with the blue interior. It was seen in the wild. So this isn't really a leak of any kind, but it is a pretty cool image to see. So this is hypersonic gray, and it's got the blue interior, which is an interesting color combination. This is one we haven't seen yet. It's also a convertible. So we can kind of take a look at some of the shots here right on the mid-engine Corvette forum.com. You can see it's just the Z06. It's not the Z07 packaged car. It is an interesting color combination. And of course, this is something that has been seen in the wild. So the car is out there testing right now. Yeah, so that was something I thought too. Clark and Anita says black calipers, question mark. This kind of car needs something better than that. I mean, honestly, I think the hypersonic gray goes really well with the yellow calipers. When you put them in black, it's just going to hide behind the wheel. I would never have a car with black calipers. I mean, that's just my personal preference. Obviously, it doesn't have to be yours. But Elijah said it looks like an F-35 in hypersonic gray. It is a really cool looking car. I mean, a hypersonic gray is really a nice color until, and again, this is my opinion, until you see it in an overcast situation. Overcast on that color brings out a lot of green hues, and it makes me sad because I really like the color otherwise. The Brobarian says, I recently read that the wing that's on the Z07 is built into the car as opposed to being screwed on. Yeah, so the Brobarian, that is 100% true. The Z07 spoiler or wing actually bolts to the chassis of the car, just like it did on the C7 Corvette ZR1. The brackets actually run down behind the rear of the bumper and bolt straight to the chassis. So any downforce that thing provides is pushing down on the chassis of the car, not just the rear bumper. So it's super functional, and it's going to be an absolute beast on the track, just like the ZR1 is. Yeah, I agree. Wells Vic Wealth Management says too much monotone with that wheel color. That and the black calipers doesn't really kind of give it any kind of punch. But honestly, I think with these kind of test cars, I think GM's going for that. I think they don't want to draw a whole bunch of attention. And that's why they choose like these more muted color setups. Joey Bracero asks, has anyone mentioned sticker price on the C8 Z06? I have talked about it in previous videos. I do believe the Z06 is going to start right around $90,000 before options. It rains every day you want to drive. That's 100% accurate. Shane says he 100% doesn't like it in overcast or dark/shadow, being the hypersonic gray. I agree. It's really strange. I really like that color because I've never seen it in an overcast situation until recently, and then I was sad. Do you think the Ultium batteries will reduce or eliminate the frunk space on the ERay? No. So the ERay is very likely to put the battery in the tunnel of the C8 Corvette. So the big tunnel that runs down the center, that's probably where the battery's going. And it's not really going to take up any space anywhere else that I have seen. All right, let's see where we're at, guys, on the thumbs ups. I'd really like to hit 200 before we call it a day. I do have one more piece of news for you guys. Yep, 165, 166. Shane's on it. I appreciate that, Shane. Hypersonic Gray is nice. It has some green in it, but it somehow works. Steve-O, I'm glad if it works for you, that's awesome. I was really into that color until I saw that it had green in it, and then I was a little bit disappointed about that. I personally just want a gray. I don't want any other color tinges in it. I just want gray. Mr. Media says, classic Chevy, Dallas, no list, but old boy donation, backhanded deals. Yep. Hoping they can get called out. I'll tell you what, Mr. Media, that happens way more than you think. And it's not just happening in Dallas or any specific dealership. A lot of people are doing this now where they're accepting a donation to a charitable auction in turn for giving you a Z06, a spot on the Z06 list. And all that is them literally being in bed with that particular charity and just putting the money right back in their pocket. And it's unfortunate, but I know that that's how it's working. Does Accelerate Yellow have green in it? So Elijah, actually, Accelerate Yellow actually has blue in it. It looks like it has green, but Chevy has confirmed it is in fact blue. And the reason it looks green is because if you mix blue and yellow together, you get green. So the answer is no, it doesn't have green, but it does have blue, which makes it look green. Learning Fast says double MSRP in some cases for a fully spec Z07. Yeah. There's a dealership in Maryland right now charging $200,000 over MSRP. So if you get a Z07 package car maxed out, you're literally going to pay $350,000 for a Corvette. Yeah, Anthony, that's my big thing. He says current administration wants to get rid of internal combustion engine performance machines. That is why I think, number one, the E-Ray's coming first, and number two, the Zora model is going to be fully electric. That's why I think those two things. Shane says 170 thumbs ups. That's awesome, guys. We only got 30 more to go. Read a thread on the mid-engine Corvette forum where many are convinced the E-Ray will be a plug-in, as GM will really want to show off the benefits of. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like hybrids typically are not plug-ins, but if Chevy really wants to go balls to the wall with their miles per gallon, I guess they could make it a plug-in. Maybe give it a little bit more of a range than a typical hybrid has. Wellsvik, I will try to put something together about that for a future video. He wants me to share a list of dealers who will sell at MSRP. I will put together a list for you. Shane says ceramic matrix metallic is really nice. Wow, looks really good. It's my top 5 to 6 colors. Yep. $200,000. Holy crap. Yeah. Shane, I called to confirm this because I originally saw this posted on Instagram and it was just a text document. And I was like, there's no way that's true. No way that's true. And I called the dealership in Maryland and confirmed that not only was it true, but at that time there was 10 people that were already on the list for 200,000 over. All right, guys, we're apparently at 176. Please smash that thumbs up button. It really helps the channel. I would really appreciate it. If we could hit 200, it'd be fantastic. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be plug-in either, but we'll see. Future Sean says, there are far more good dealers than bad ones. And he is right. Unfortunately, the way the human nature is we only want to complain about the bad stuff. We never really give props to the good stuff. So all you ever hear is the complaints about the bad dealerships, never the props to the good ones. Serious question, why are there so many Corvettes on the East Coast than West Coast, particularly California, when we can drive them year-round? I'll tell you what, I've asked myself that same question a couple times. Pennsylvania is one of the worst states to own a nice car in, and I had 2 of them at one point, and I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. If someone offers you $250,000 for your Z07, would you sell it? I'm assuming you're talking about a C8 Z06. Mr. Media says MSRP for anything just means waiting so long a new model comes out. I was 5,000 plus at Sioka. What's the point? Yeah, at honestly anything over 100, you might as well bow out. I hope that's true about Zora basically being a hypercar with a nasty V8 and electric instant torque as well. The ERay is going to be there. It's not a, this is not speculation at this point. It's fact. The ERay is 6.2 liter engine in the rear and a hybrid assist motor in the front. That's 100% fact at this point. Everybody has already seen the leaks and everything. That is the case. So if that interests you, then that is your car for sure. That's 100% what's coming. Future Sean says he's number 53 at Sioka. He's a lucky guy. Yes, you are. You'll probably get the car within the first year-ish, if I had to guess. All right, so Shane's saying we're at 182, guys. We're pretty close. We need 28 more thumbs ups if we could. That would be awesome. Criswell Chevrolet in Gaithersburg, Maryland is a very honest dealer, says Davius King. See, guys, this is what we can do. We can share this kind of information with each other and literally get one of our Corvette brethren a car. So let's, if you know of a good dealership, throw it in that comment section. Let's hear all of them. Arthur says he's number 106 at Tim Lally Chevrolet. I would love to see a military green with black accents on that car. Brian, I used to draw whenever I was younger. I don't anymore. All right, guys. Shane says we're at 190 thumbs up. So that means we only need 10 more to hit 200. That's amazing. You guys are awesome. Eric Tate says a fully electric Corvette will end its sex appeal performance. I agree, but I know some people out there wouldn't. I'm not a big fan of the full electric thing. Not yet, at least. I think we're diving into that a little bit too early. I don't think the technology's there yet. Do you think they will discontinue the Stingray once the ERay and Z06 are out? No, definitely not. So even with the C7 generation, they continue to sell this Stingray all the way up to the very end. You will have your options between the Stingray, ERay, Z06, or Zora model. You'll have that all the way to the end of the generation. Mr. Media says he wants an ERay, so if anyone has a lead, he's not going McLaren hybrid, also delayed. Oh, okay. Here in Potomac, and no C8s are available. All right, guys. Shane's saying we're at 193. We got 7 more. You guys are awesome. 197. Oh, man. We only need 3 more. That's fantastic. Wait lists are still longer than a year for Stingray and will continue to be. I know of one dealership where the wait list is a little less than that, but I'm gonna reserve judgment for. I'm gonna hold off on telling you what the dealership is until next week because I want to make sure that they hold up to their end of the bargain. All right, we got to be at 200. Shane, are we at 200? Anthony says a 0 to 60 1.8 second Zora performance EV vet. Yeah, if we hit 1.8 seconds, it's going to be hard to not jump onto that bandwagon. Yeah, I will be bringing my ZR1 to Carlisle this year, guys. Elijah says 198 for thumbs up, guys. That's awesome. We got 2 more to hit. Waiting 4 more months for my Stingray, probably 10 months for my Lotus. Yeah, everything seems to be out. Michael Matarazzo, I was actually not referring to Click Lewis, but we know we've talked about Click Lewis. They do sell at MSRP as well, but their lists are getting pretty long at this point, apparently. And think there's any chance we'll get a surprise ERay release at Carlisle. Well, that might not be a bad idea, actually, now that I think about it. I originally thought we might get some sort of information about the Z06 at Carlisle, but now that the ERay might be coming first, it's possible. Future Sean says, I got my C8 Stingray. I don't want to sell it until Sioka has an allocation and submits my build. I just love that car so much. What Corvette has done is amazing. You're 100% right. Corvette has recently, no, I don't even want to say recently. They've, within the last 20, maybe 15 to 20 years, Corvettes have gotten to the point where you can literally own a supercar for a fraction of the price. Electric will be heavy, not good for a road course, but okay for the drag strip. That's the big thing. So learning fast hits it right on the head. The electric technology is a lot heavier than what your typical internal combustion engine is. So it's not going to be great, or as good, I should say, for track performance. Shane says we're at 205. That's awesome, guys. Thank you so much. Michael Matarazzo says we don't have a list. Okay. So guys, if you're interested in a C8 Corvette at MSRP, you can contact Click Lewis, talk to Mike Matarazzo or Greg Lewis, tell them Horsepower Obsessed sent you, and it sounds like they might be able to get you a C8. Mr. Media says, don't get me started on GT3. Dealers here are MSRP, but work deals to buy back over weekend and sell 100K over. Yeah. Yep. That sounds about right. William says he only sees 151 thumbs up. That's not good. Let's see what's going on. You might have to refresh your feed to see all of them. I have to keep going out and coming back in to see any additional thumbs ups. But let's see. Yeah, we're at 211 is what I'm seeing, so we should be good. The Paper Tiger, how different will the ERay look from the Stingray? So we actually talked about that a little bit earlier, but thanks for tuning in, buddy. The ERay will look only slightly different from the Stingray or the Z06. So it's going to have the wide body. It's going to have a couple of its own features just to differentiate it from the Z06, but it is going to have the wide body setup of the Z06. Mr. Media says he loves his C8, 10,000 miles since October, about to drive it to Maine. Very nice. The C8 is a very fun car to drive, guys. So all C8 or all Z06s from C5, C6, C7, and especially C8 are supercars. I agree, Elijah. I specifically put that myself at a C7 and above. The argument could be made for the C6, but I don't think I would put the C5 Z06 in the supercar territory, just because it takes a little bit more than just the horsepower and stuff to make a supercar. I think the interior quality didn't really get the bump that it needed until the C7. Now, again, that's just my personal preference or my personal opinion, but I just, we're talking about it. We'll toss around opinions. Future Sean says, I don't think EVs will be feasible to the American people until you car charge as fast as you can fuel a car. Yeah, that's a big thing, Future Sean. That between that and the fact that the electrical grids are going to be hard to really maintain all that power all the time. Yeah. Brian Greer says, Justin, where's the TRX? It is actually in my driveway. It's parked under my deck. I did manage to fit it under there. Okay, I don't know what that comment's about. We'll remove that. All right. Hey, brother, just got a C7 and I'm in love. It's like becoming an instant celebrity overnight. Awesome. Quick, that's pretty cool that you got a C7. I'll be honest, the C7 generation is one of my favorites. I know the C8's the new hot thing, but the C7, it's a fantastic platform. Shane says, what's going on with the T-Rex and meeting up with Street Speed? Shane, I have been invited to go out to Street Speed's little off-road area and do some crazy jumping. So stay tuned. That will be happening very soon. If GM could make a ZR1 with Z06 V8 and front electric motors, that would be awesome. Yeah, we'll see. I mean, honestly, at this point, there's really no limit to what they can do. So it could get pretty freaking nuts. William Richardson, thanks for tuning in, man. I will definitely see you next week, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time, as always. Dude has a ZR1 and a TRX. That right there is life goals. Thanks, Future Sean. It is a huge life goal. And I have achieved that goal myself, which means you guys definitely can too, because I'm I'm nothing special. Shane says 217 thumbs up, guys. I appreciate it so much. One last time, we're going to hit that thumbs up. And then we are going to go ahead and start wrapping this up, I think. We're about an hour in at this point. I like to keep these right around an hour. So, guys, I want to thank all of you for tuning in. I want to thank all of you that donated the super chats today. That's fantastic. It really helps the channel. And if you guys didn't see, Michael Monterazzo was on here. Go ahead and hit him up at Click Lewis Chevrolet in Palmyra, Pennsylvania. If you're looking for a C8 or a Z06 or any of their other inventory, you can check out their website, Click Lewis Cars. Check them out. But guys, we're gonna cut it off here, I think. Like I said, I appreciate all of you guys tuning in. One last time, thumbs up if you could, guys. I will see you guys next week at 7:30 p.m. for the next Corvette Weekly. Thanks again, guys.